back, students. In this video we're going to cover lesson 1-5. This is locating points using weighted averages. Two standards we have for this lesson. GR 3.1, I can determine the weighted averages of two or more points on a line. And GR 3.3, I can use coordinate geometry to solve problems with weighted averages. Okay, so we've got start out with our formula. It's going to be weight 1 times x1 plus weight 2 times x2 divided by weight 1 plus weight 2. And so we got a number line here. So if we're looking for point P in between x1 and between A and B, A being our x1, B being our x2. It shows how we got the formula here, and based on the weight, if B weighs more, it'll go between the two depending on how the weights come out. So vocabulary, let me just Alright, so a weighted average is a set of values such that the values hold different levels of importance. So let's see, make sure, okay. Example I used, and this is a problem we had before, but we've removed it this year. But if a pest control company, so they had two locations, say one, let's say one's in Daytona and one's in Jacksonville, and they want to put a third in between the two, but they want to make it closer to, we'll say closer to Daytona. Daytona does more business than Jacksonville, so they would weight that accordingly and use the formula like this, and then the location would put it slightly closer to Daytona than Jacksonville, so it might be like, Palm Coast instead of St. Augustine, or anyway, it'd be just closer to Daytona. On the coordinate plane, we have two of these, one for the x's, one for the y's, but it's always going to be your weight 1 is going to go with your point farthest to the left. X2 or weight 2 is going to go with this guy. Let's see. Alright, scooching down the page here. Alright, example 1. Find the coordinate of P that represents the weighted average for each set of points with the given conditions. Alright, so on this side they tell us that C weighs 1/4 and that D weighs 3/4. Alright, C is going to be our x1, D is going to be our x2, this is going to be our weight 1, and this is going to be our weight 2. And we're going to go down here and say W1x1 plus W2x2 divided by W1 plus W2. Alright, next to it I'll write, let's see, the only thing I have right now, so can't change colors just yet. I may have to pause and go find something, but for now let's do this. So, alright, W1 is 1/4. So we're going to write these as fractions, but I'm going to use these as decimals so I can put it in the calculator. Let's see, so W1 is 1/4, x1 is -3, plus W2 is 3/4, and x2 is 2. And then notice, so weight 1 is 1/4, weight 2 is 3/4. Alright, so 1/4 plus 3/4 makes 4/4. 4/4, well, we'll do it over here. So as we go down here with it, 1/4 plus 3/4 makes 4/4, and 4/4 is the same as 1. So when I write this over here, the fraction's going to go away because anything over 1 is understood, but I'm writing it for the purpose of making sure we follow. Okay, so let's see, hang on. Let's do this. So just above this, I'm going to write the quarter is 0.25. 3/4 is 0.75. Try to write that a little better. Okay. There we go. All right, just so we know, we type these in. Some of you guys are bang up this year with the fractions, and I really appreciate it. But I want you guys to lean on the calculator. So we're going a quarter, or 0.25 times -3. That is -3/4, plus 3/4 times 2, which is 1.5, or 1.5. All right, so all of this over 1. So this is actually -0.75 plus 1, 0.5, which is positive 0.75, or 3/4 for you. So our point P would be about right here, 3/4. Now that's for A. Of course, B. Lord, I put that over there. This is on the wrong side. Jeez. All right, so 3/4 is about right here. Man, that's the math wasn't mathing there. Something didn't look right. Okay. So part B. So this is here we have 3 points. Your F is your x1, G is your x2, and H is your x3. Alright, so it says that G weighs 3 times as much as F, and that H weighs twice as much as F. So F is the little guy. That means he weighs the least. So weight 1 for F is going to be 1. The little guy will always be 1. When you read this and it says this is more than this, and this is also more than this guy. Alright, so now let's look and see what it says. It says G weighs 3 times as much as F. So if F is 1, 1 times 3 is 3. So weight 2 is 3 for G. And then weight 3. So H is twice as much. So 2 times 1 is 2. Alright, so now we have our W1x1, W1x1, W2x2, W3x3. We put them all together. Let's see. I'm gonna write the formula up here. Try to write it small. Sorry, I know it's a little dicey. We're running out of room. Okay. I don't know where my red pen is. Hold on. Let me just a second. Let me pause this and find something. Stand by. Okay. Alright. More utensils to work with. Alright, so W1 is 1. X1 is -1. Plus W2 is 3. X2 is 2, plus W3 is 2, X3 is 6, over 1 plus 3 plus 2. So, plus 3 plus 2. Okay. Alright, so 1 times -1 is -1. 2 times 3 is 6. And 2 times 6 is 12. 1 plus 3 is 4. 4 plus 2 is 6. Alright, so up here, oh Lord, hold on. My goodness, why are we doing this? Okay, jeez. Now, alright, so we got -1 and +6 make +5, plus 12 makes 17 over 6. So, this is our P, 17 over 6, which is also almost 3. It's going to be 2 and 5/6, so it's almost 3, so it's right here. Alright, down below. So example 1 check, find the coordinate of P, represents the weighted average of points. So you have the number line. A and B go with this side. C goes with this. I will help you by showing you that A is going to be your x sub 1, your x sub 2, c is your x sub 3, but it only goes with this problem. These go with this. So so if that's your x1, that's your w1. If that's your x2, that's your w2. And then over here, notice a is the little guy. So there's your hints. All right, we're going to flip over. I'm going to show you one practice on the coordinate plane, example 2. So flip the page. I'm going to do A and B on the top. You guys are going to do example 2 check A and B, and we'll finish off with the summary real quick. So example 2, top of the flip side of the page, find the coordinates of P. They represent the weighted average of each set of points based on given conditions. Okay, given conditions are going to be the weights. So just a second, that's fine. Alright, so this will be your x1, y1, x2, y2, x3, y3. So again, I just went left to right. 1, 2, 3. But remember, xy, xy, xy. If you do that, it's going to help you a lot. Now, F is going to go down here. This one just has D and E. So, and I was trying to tell you guys that this week in class, this past week in class. You know, you're going to have some problems where what's there is what you need, and some are going to give you more. This just happens to be the more here. There may be, 4 lines on there, but it's only going to talk about one specific. So just get used to, like for this one, D and E. So D is x1, so it's also w1. w2 is E. And then, of course, down here we'll find out who the little guy is, make him 1, and then change make the other weights as it tells us. So over here, so we're going to have it's w1 x1 w2 x2 over w1 plus w2, and then we have the y's, w1 y1 plus w2 y2 over w1 plus w2. Oh goodness. There we go. This is why I told you guys I would put a line through Z, because I know my 2's look like Z's. So we're going to go over here and start plugging in our numbers. So now we noticed that 2/3 and 1/3. So I'm going to write this for this problem. Well, it's alright, we'll do it like this. Hang on. So 2/3 plus 1/3. Hopefully some of you guys are already like, oh yeah, oh crap, I forgot we got x and y. So this is why I was not wanting to write it. It's alright. We'll make it fit, and then we'll change colors. Okay. So 2/3 and 1/3, this is going to be 1, so the fraction goes away after this. Here's our x's. So w1 is 2/3, which is also 0.6. Our x1 is -4. You guys can see that to the right of my hand. Plus 1/3, which is also 0.4, times x sub 2 is +2. The y's, again, 0.6, +2 plus 0.4, and I'm going to run out of room, -2. So, oh my goodness, sorry about this. Okay. Alright, so now let's do the math. Alright, so negative, let's see. Alright, so 2/3 times negative 4. It's going to be negative 2.7. I think I rounded up with this. So it's going to look a little weird if you're doing the fractions. But yeah, it's like 2.6 and 1 and 0.6, but it's going to end up being negative 2. Forgot that we've already done away with the fraction, but I'll write it here. It'll help. Other side, 0.6 or 2/3 times 2 is 1.3, and then 0.4. Goodness. 0.4 times negative 2. Where did I do this one? Yeah, I rounded that one up to, it's 0. It's supposed to be 0.8, but it's the way I rounded it to make our numbers a little prettier. So it's minus 0.7. Again, on one on top, and then I'll go over here. So 0.7, I'm sorry, negative 2.7 plus 0.7 is negative 2, and then 1.3 minus 0.7 is, yeah, positive 0.6. So it would be like 1, 2, and then down, wait a minute, I'm sorry, over 2, 1, 2, and then up a little over half. So right there. Alright, let me scooch this. Let's do this last one real quick. Alright, so, actually I'll scoot in just a little so we can see D. We need D. Alright, it says E weighs twice as much as F. D weighs 3 times as much as F. So F is the little guy. So so the W3 is 1. Remember, the little guy is 1. Okay, and it says that E weighs twice as much, so 2 times 1 is 2. So your weight 1 is 2. And point D weighs 3 times as much as F, so 3 times 1 is 3. So D, I'm sorry, I wrote that backwards. D is our W1, and it's 3. E is our W2, and it's 3. No, 2. Yes. Sorry, got them backwards, my bad. And then there's the 3. So let's go ahead and do our points. You guys can see the formula up here again. So, alright, so W1 is 3 times X1 is negative 4 plus W2 is 2. X2 is positive 2 plus W3 is 1. X3 is 5. Bottom we got W1, W2, W3, so 3 plus 2 plus 1. So our fraction will remain this time. Up here we had the fractions to deal with, but we didn't have a fraction in we did away with the large fraction. So now the y's. W3 is still 3. W1 is still 3. Y1 is positive 2. Plus W2 is 2. Y2 is negative 2. And last W3 is 1. And Y3 is negative 4. And again, the bottom is W1 plus W2 plus W3, which is 3 plus 2 plus 1. Alright, so let's do the math. Let's do it this way. Yeah, we're going to run out of room, so let's do it this way. Alright, so 3 times negative 4 is negative 12. 2 times 2 is 4. And then 1 times 5 is 5. 3 plus 2 is 5 plus 1 is 6. Same over here. 3 times 2 is 6. Sorry for the blurry. 2 times, come on, settle down. 2 times negative 2 is negative 4. And then 1 times negative 4 is also negative 4. So let's go in line. So negative 12 plus 4 is negative 8 plus 5 is negative 3. Over here, 6 minus 4 is 2. 2 minus 4 is -2. So notice both of these. This is -3/6 and -2/6. Both of these do we can lower these further. So -3/6 is also -1/2, and then -2/6 is also -1/3. So our point would be -1/2, -1/3. So like -1/2, you see it's like, yeah, that's why it's that way right there. Okay, example 2 check, same thing. So JK for here, JK and L for down here gives you the weights. You know, you guys know this is your x1, y1, x2, y2, x3, y3, and handle the weights accordingly. Alright, bottom of the page, into the lesson. So summary. The midpoint formula is the same as the blank blank formula, where all the weights are equal to 1. So the midpoint formula, you know, it's x1 plus x2 divided by 2, y1, y2 divided by 2. It's because the weights are 1. So a ratio of 1 to 1, which is 1 plus 1, is also 2. And then number 2, describe a method you use instead of the equation for weighted averages. I'm really not sure what they're asking here, because we kind of explained that here. I guess you could, you know, I mean, again, we've already talked about the weights for the midpoint is 1 to 1. That's why it works this way. It's to kind of help you. Excuse me. So I really don't have an answer. But if you have any questions, please let me know in class. Until next video, have a good night.